Howdy everyone. So this is the finished product, and you can clearly see that edge distance might be an issue. These actually turned out quite a bit better than I thought they would. I thought these were going to be a lot closer to the edge. But like I said, my plan when I install these is to put fuel tank sealant on here, and that will help stabilize the tip. Even if these do crack through, you still have the adhesive that will keep this in place. And like I said, in hindsight, I may have opted not to dimple anything and just put these on with fuel tank sealant. But this one particular piece is now finished. It's been match drilled and countersunk, and like I noted, it's been notched at the top here to clear the counterweight. I'll install this here in a second with Cleco so you can see how it fits. It actually fits very well. I'm mildly surprised. A couple of things. I put my countersink onto my drill, my hand drill. Here's the countersink. And I forget where I had gotten these adapters, but these just allow you to screw on the countersink, and then you can run it in your drill. And I have two of these. I have another one of these which is twice as long as this one. This is like 4 inches. I've got another one that's at least 8. It might be closer to 10 inches. And I've used these before. But when you do this way, when you do your countersinking, regardless of how you do it, make sure you turn it very slowly, because I noticed that when I turn it very slowly, it cuts really nice. If I increase the speed, even just a little bit, it seems to almost, for lack of a better word, it almost galls the fiberglass and the bit stops the cutting. Even if you keep the bit nice and clean, if you turn it, at least what I've discovered, when I turn it too fast, it almost acts like it doesn't want to cut. It's almost like it heats up the fiberglass or does something and glazes it, and it no longer cuts as nice. So keep the countersink nice and clean between every hole at a minimum. Clean the tip, clean the countersink, and turn it very slowly. And the other thing that I had done, since I was doing these purely by hand, I would cut just a little bit, pull the bit out, check it, and then cut some more, pull it out, and check it. Just because you can tell when you look at the countersink in relation to the hole, you can tell if you're drilling or if you're countersinking square. So you can do a little bit and check it, and you can kind of see where you need to take a little bit more off, kind of angle the countersink in that general direction, take off a little bit more. Every time you pull the countersink out to check it, I recommend just wiping the tip off real quick and turn it very slowly. All right, let me get this Cleco in place. I'll show you the fit, and then I'm going to start on the other elevator. All right, stand by. All right, so here is one side Clecoed in place. I'm not going to bother to Cleco the other side, the bottom side, if you will, at this point, because obviously these are not going to stay on. These are going to have to be pulled off to do the fuel tank sealant and the actual pop riveting. But you can see, at least in my opinion, the fit is very well. Another good thing about using the fuel tank sealant, if any of it seeps out, which it probably will, I can use that to kind of feather these edges a little bit. But they are pretty nice. You can see the corner here is decent. There's a little bit of a gap here. But again, this is splitting hairs. And this is, this is totally zoomed in. In real life, from 6, 8, 10 inches away, you can't hardly tell that this even exists, this little bit of a gap. But I am more than pleased. This is actually not as big of a deal as I thought it would be. The biggest problem for me was getting my dust collection stuff set up. It's kind of cattywampus, but it does work. But just like with most things, right, it's all in the prep work. So this is probably the biggest deal, trying to figure out how to get all this to work. But as far as match drilling and countersinking, it's no different than aluminum, other than you have to wear some kind of protective equipment so you don't want to be breathing that fiberglass. Let me go around on the other side. So this is the front end, the forward edge, I guess you would call it. And again, this is going to get modified. The lead weight will get modified. It's going to lose a lot of material, or some material, depending on how it needs to be balanced. So that's the fit around that, which again, you know, considering that this is, I don't know how they form this lead. I'm assuming they pour it into a mold, but considering this fit around here with the fiberglass is pretty impressive. Here is the gap, or the notch. You have to notch this out right here to help the tip lay over the counterweight nicely. So that worked out well. That looks just fine. So that is elevator number 1. I am going to clean up a little bit, and I am going to bring up elevator number 2. I've already got the tip up here. And just go through the same process. I won't videotape any of that because it's just a carbon copy of what I've just done and what I've just talked about. But if I come across anything new, I will let you guys know. All right, I will talk to you guys later.